Hello, and thank you for tuning in. Today's episode, we had a couple of technical difficulties. The internet kept kind of dropping, and the audio quality in some parts are a little bit off. However, it is a fantastic interview, and I promise if you listen to the end, you will just be in awe. I even called some of my regular clients and asked them if Machu Picchu was on their bucket list, and it was in over half of my regular clients actually had that on their list, and it's something that I've never even considered. And I don't want to give too much away, but he is so knowledgeable and so passionate about what he's doing. And the business is based in Peru. So, that they know what they're doing. I am so excited to add this to my repertoire, to my destinations. And I hope by the end of this that you're going to reach out to Michael as well, because I'm telling you, everything that he's talking about sounds fantastic. And we're even actually working together sometime in 2020 so that I can actually go on his tour to show you and my clients what he has to offer. So let's get started. Welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. I'm your host, Aylin Blanco. I interview successful industry professionals and share my personal journey to becoming a travel agent. The show is for aspiring travel agents and travel professionals at every level. My mission is to uncover the universal keys to thrive in this business. Join me as I take a closer look into the life of a travel agent. Hello, and welcome to the Travel Agent Podcast. Today, we have another amazing guest. He owns a tour operating company in Peru, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Thank you so much, Lynn. It's great to join you. My name is Michael, and like Lynn mentioned, I am part owner of a tour agency, a tour operating company in Peru called Kusa Treks, Kusa Treks.
So let's get started with the interview. How did you get started?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm an avid hiker. I've done a lot of hiking in the United States and wanted to cross off Machu Picchu on my bucket list. And to get to Machu Picchu, you can either do a hike or you can take a train. I went down there and did a big hike. It was about 5 days with camping. And when you do a hike, you have to go with a licensed tour guide. And the tour guides need to be local. They need to pay a certain tax. They have to have a charity. There's a bunch of different things you have to do to be kind of a licensed operator. And so I went with an amazing guide. His name was Eric Bayona. He's from Cusco. And at the time he was working for a different tour operator. But him and I got to talking, and he told me, he said, Michael, my dream's always been to do my own company. Like, I really believe in this. He loves Peru. He loves Machu Picchu and the mountains. And he wanted to do his own thing. And he had been saving for years and had all of the guides lined up, but he just didn't know how to do a website or do marketing. And that's what I do. And so long story short, after a few months of me and him kind of meeting and me helping him with his website, so at that point we became 50-50 partners and decided to give it a go and start our own company.
Awesome. So how long have you been with Eric in Kusa? Kusa, yes.
Yeah.
Kusa.
Yeah, so Kusa, just interestingly, so the Inca was the empire that kind of ruled that area, and their capital was in Cusco, Peru, and Kusa, Kusa, means amazing or incredible in the Inca language, which is called Quechua. So our business is like Amazing Treks. But to answer your question, Eric and I met in the summer of 2016. So we're jumping into our fourth year now.
Nice. So how exactly do you serve travel agents' needs?
That's a great question. So as a local operator, we have two clients, right? The end consumer, we have a lot of people who book on their own, families, that kind of stuff. But then our biggest client are tour agencies, travel agencies, who are always looking for safe, reliable, but then also really good, operators. And so we offer a variety of services. No travel agency is the same. Some want us as the operators to be really involved in every aspect of planning, from flights to hotels to van transfers, and others have all that kind of under control. They book the flights, they book the hotels based on their connections, and really just want us to handle the guiding, providing a safe, again, reliable guide that speaks English or speaks Spanish or even Chinese. And so we kind of provide anything and everything in Peru. We are Peru specialists. Like I mentioned, Eric is from Peru. He's been doing this for a long time. So we've got the best guides. We've got professional photographers down there. We have guides that speak any language that a travel agency could want. And we've done this for families as small as 5 families that a travel agency, boutique maybe travel agency connects, all the way up to groups of 90 people. And so really it's up to whatever the travel agency wants. But again, it comes back to those 3 things that I mentioned. We need to be reliable, we need to be safe, and then we need to be, really good. The customers, the travel agent's customer needs to come home and just say, that was an incredible, trip.
So that's a great segue into what sets you apart from others in the industry.
That is a great segue. All right, this is my favorite question. So I could go on about this for a while. I will boil it down to 5 things for you. So the first, I would say, is we're local. This is super important. And so, like I mentioned at the very beginning, to be an official tour operator of Machu Picchu, this is different from other locations, right? So Machu Picchu is really heavily regulated by the Peruvian government. And to be able to officiate or operate tours to Machu Picchu, you have to meet certain criteria that is specified by the Peruvian government. So a few of those are, you have to be, locally owned company. So our company's based in Peru. You have to have local employees. All of our employees are local. You have to have a nonprofit arm. And so we do really cool nonprofit work with some of the local villages there. And then you have to pay local taxes. And what I tell you all this to say that when some people, there's about 6,000 tour agencies or operators that offer trips to Machu Picchu. There's about 100 of us that are actually legally licensed. And so we're one of the few that are local. This means that we know the best spots. We have connections with the hotels. If something happens on a trip where there's like a road closure or something, we're there. We know how to handle it. Our office is in Peru. So that's the first one. The second is we're 100% sustainable. So because our owner's local, because our employees are local, they really care about Peru. A lot of the bigger tour companies, sad to say, they might leave trash around or not using great ingredients or soaps to kind of clean their materials. Everything we do is to improve Peru. That's economically, environmentally, socially. We're really obsessed with that. And that kind of leads into the third is we have fair living wages for all of our employees. Really care about our employees. Fifth is our incredible customer service, which I head in the United States. So while our company is based in Peru and all of our tour guides are in Peru, our customer service team is in the U.S. And we service our agencies and our customers here in North America as well as in Europe. And then finally, I would say to not take my word for it, but look us up on TripAdvisor. We have the Certificate of Excellence for 3 years in a row, 5-star reviews. Our customers love what we do. So that would be my fifth reason for what sets us apart is we've got avid customers who kind of love our service.
That is a great answer. I'm super excited to even come and participate in one of your, and I'm not a hiker at all, but it sounds amazing. And I was looking at the website and some of the pictures. So it looks like you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you. And even if you're not a hiker, we do have trips with trains. We go full-star luxury on some of ours, 5-star hotels, the restaurants. There's some incredible stuff that Peru has to offer for if you don't like to camp. Not everybody likes to camp. I get it.
I'm not a camper. So, what is some of the important things that you've learned or you've gained from working with travel agents?
Another great question. So I would say the biggest is that if anything can happen, it will happen. And so as a smaller company, we had to learn this the hard way, to be honest. And now we're ready for it, right? If there's a customer that has a vegan diet, that's hard to accommodate for in the middle of the woods, right? But what we've done is hired more professional chefs that go with our clients and are able to prepare for that. We've had groups of entirely blind people from a travel agency that we were able to take on a hike to Machu Picchu that they wanted to accomplish. So I would say learning how to adapt has been really key. And again, as we focus just on Peru, I think a lot of people think that's limiting, is that, oh, you're not able to do Brazil, you're not able to do Paris or London or those types of cities. But I think it's a strength because it allows us to do Peru really, really well. So we always say, look, if you're going to Europe, we're not the tour company for you. But if you have clients that want to go to Peru and see Machu Picchu, see the Amazon jungle, see Lima, we can do it better than anybody.
That's great. So, what is something like one of the most exciting things you have going on in business right now?
That's a good question. I would say just the growth. We're kind of, like I said, going into our fourth year. In my mind, this is either where we really propel and become, one of the big dogs, become, a big sustainable company, right? Where we have our footprint down, we have 3 years of track record, and what we're seeing now is a lot of referral based business. So before it was, you think about push versus pull marketing. We were doing a lot of outbound marketing where we had to kind of tell people about us. We were new. People didn't know what we were about. And now we're starting to gain a reputation. We're starting to get repeat customers and then referrals, which is really, really exciting. And this opens up the possibility for more travel agents. This opens up the possibility for bigger groups doing cooler things. And it allows us to expand our reach. So this year we're going over to London in January to attend a travel expo there. That'll be our first time doing that kind of thing. And it's really exciting. Like I mentioned, we're still, nuts and bolts local company. But the fact that people kind of believe in our product and that it's done well enough for people to tell their friends and family about allows us to kind of grow in the right way.
So that's also another great segue into how do you think is the best way to build relationships with travel agents who specialize in South America?
Yeah, another great question. So I think it's all built on trust, right? So if a travel agency used us and we weren't there to pick up their clients from the airport, or we gave them a terrible guide that didn't speak English, if they had English speaking clients, they wouldn't send another group with us. So the first, I think, is that trust, which just goes back to what we were saying about providing reliable tours. The second is being flexible. We recognize that while there are set things that people want to do, see Machu Picchu, right? That's the end result. There's a lot of different ways that people want to do that. Like I mentioned, some people want to hike and camp. Some people want to spend the night in nice hotels. Some people want to spend the night in hostels. Some people want to spend the night in really nice hotels. The ability for us to kind of adapt and meet the needs of various groups allows us to cater really well to travel agencies because they want to provide the best experience for their customers. And at the end of the day, having a local group that's on the ground there that can pivot and react to how the customer's experience is going allows us to really cater the personalized trip, a tailored trip for whoever our customer is.
I'm really excited for you guys. I'm big fans of local, definitely making sure that you're leaving it better than you when you came there. And so I appreciate what you're doing. I love that you have niched all the way down and that you're truly just being the best in Peru. And I love it. So is there anything else that I should have asked that I didn't?
Man, that's a great question, Lynn. First of all, thank you for finding us. Thank you for being willing to talk to me. What you're doing is so cool. Kind of connecting a travel agency to their different possibilities is really unique. So I really appreciate what you've done and what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
I would say just harkening back to the beginning of our conversation, it is really important, I think, to, like you just mentioned, use local companies. They know what's going on in the country. They know, what's good, what's best for the customer in terms of an experience, but then also for the environment and for the people in Peru. I would say one thing we didn't touch on, Machu Picchu is obviously such a big attraction and draw for people to come to Peru because it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Peru is just an incredible country outside of Machu Picchu. So a lot of times when people contact us to do trips to Machu Picchu, of course we'll help with that. That's like 2 to 3 days out of a larger trip that they could take. And so I would just highlight that people should consider, right? Lima has 2 of the top 10 restaurants in the world. It's a culinary destination, incredible food. The Amazon is in Peru. Most of it, in fact, is covered by the Amazon jungle. So people can go down there, see Machu Picchu, but also experience Lima, experience Cusco, experience the Amazon jungle. And it's a lot easier to get there and travel in Peru than people think. There's no time change. So like when you're flying over to Europe or Asia, you lose 2 days to jet lag, right? And then you come back and you're still jet lagged. Peru is just straight down. So no time change. Right now, it's the same exact time as Eastern Standard here in the U.S. It's really cheap and safe. So I guess what I would say is that those that might not traditionally think like, oh man, Peru is so far to get to, or Machu Picchu is so hard to get to, I can't hike. It's not the case. You can get there really easily. We can do trips that are 5 days long that you can see so much all the way up to 2 weeks, and you can really experience all that Peru has to offer.
So where can all the travel genies find you?
Yes, that's so important. Thank you. So our website is kusatreks.com. So KUSATREKS.com. They can go there and see everything that we're about. We have a really cool About Us section, our story section, where they can actually watch a video that introduces them to Eric and his story. They can also email us at info@kusatreks.com, and we're happy to, like I said, create any kind of custom itinerary that people are looking to do.
So when is the best time to come to Peru?
Oh, that is a great question. I should have covered that. So South America, their seasons are reversed from what we have in the United States. So their summer is during our winter and vice versa. The dry season in Peru is their winter, which runs from late April to the end of September. So that's super, super dry. The temperature actually doesn't change much. It's around 70 degrees during the day and around 40 degrees at night, whether it's summer or winter. But what changes is the rain. And so we recommend going in April or May or September or October because June and July are beautiful, but it's really crowded.
Sounds great. All of his information is going to be in his blog post. And so definitely check out his company. And I am so thankful for you coming on the show. I am super excited. It's actually not a place I considered putting in my repertoire, but now I definitely am now that I've met you. And I'm super excited to start working with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. Likewise, anytime you want to come down, we will treat you well and show you what Peru has to offer. So thank you again for this interview. It was wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for joining the Travel Agent Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Visit thetravelagentpodcast.com for more information about today's episode and other travel agent resources. Be sure to tune in every Thursday for new episodes. Until next time, continue to build a travel business you love.